great minds think alike.
We are very opinionated here.
We have nothing if not opinions. It didn't feel lore accurate.
I'm sure this clip will age well. Ooh. So this large creature that you might not have ever seen in your games against the Black Grail.
A brand new glory item is the regimental spoon. Welcome back to In the Trenches, our Trench Crusade podcast with Adrian and Trench Brian.
Hey guys.
How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well. It's that post-campaign relaxation phase.
I know.
I've kicked my feet up. I'm just sleeping. It's wonderful.
Right, yeah, I'm glad you can catch up on that. It's been a ton of building and painting and prep and all that
it's
stuff.
so worth it though.
Oh,
it really came together. If you guys haven't seen the last episode, please go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely epic. Will, I hope not disappoint, but people are loving it so far.
Yeah.
And of course, let us know if you have any ideas for next season, next campaign. We might even try to do some one-offs, which we talked about doing a few times.
Yeah.
But that's something that's always interesting. But lots of ideas for the future of Trench Crusade. So
sure.
Yeah, make sure to check that out. Today's going to be quite an interesting episode. There's a ton to go over. We've had lots of updates, right? So what we're going to do is first, we'll talk about kind of things happening in the community. Frankly, a lot of it's just going to be tied to the core game because there's been a lot going on there. So that's going to be the focus. And then we'll dive on into talking about the April rules review, which if you're not familiar, basically they're saying that twice a year, they're going to go through the rules and review them, talk about what needs help, what doesn't, and make some updates. They're very cognizant of wanting to keep the game balanced, but also trying to balance that with constant changes. Again, we just got our book. Things are going to change.
Yeah. That's the thing with physical media, right? I know it's frustrating. Like, obviously, some of those rules in the book are going to be out of date pretty soon. It's still a great supplement for like lore and art. Like, I love, especially the art that you see of like, just like the settings in particular, like the cities and stuff, which I think is really cool.
Right.
Still, I think value in the book, but I think it's more important for the health of the game to have a living rule system overall. And I think most people would agree.
I think so. And it is one of those things where it's like, you can't have both, unfortunately.
No, it's just not.
You can have a balanced game, or you can have print media that stays in print for 5 years.
Right. If you're old and if you've been in the game long enough, you remember the times it's like you got the rules and that's how they were for 5 or 6 years. And you're like, I hope they're good. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But I do like, to your point, I hope they lean further into like physical book almost more as like art book, lore book, things like that, because that is going to be good forever.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what they do, but if I was them, that's what I would lean on.
Yeah.
So so we'll talk more about that, of course. But first, lots of things going on.
A ton.
First of all, we have had a big update since the last recording of the episode. Of course, we had 1.0.2, which had some nice fixes in it. Also, maybe highlighted some issues that were still to be solved and will be kind of brought up in the rules review, right?
Yeah, I think it's generally going to be a good move for the health of the game. It's been moving a lot of things into keywords. So, like, you see things that have, like, multiple attacks. Now it's, like, cleave and, like, things that rule 3d6 and keep all 3d6. Like, that's the lethal keyword. I'm excited for the deployable keyword. So that's like it's like a equipment essentially, but there are like models that can be deployable, like trench dogs, for example.
Yes.
So it's a way to essentially like open up that horde style play while still having that like a warband model cap.
Yeah, that's cool actually. It's just like, I choose you, trench dog.
Yeah, and it's also like really helpful when you're writing your own scenarios or even your own custom like lore and stuff. And like, so instead of like having to write out all the sentences, like this guy has cleave X or this guy has armor piercing, and it's just there it is.
It's just nice. It's going to make it much faster and easier to do all those things. So very much it was kind of clarifications and making things more concise, but it was needed because there's a lot of rules now. It's great.
Yeah, little slight changes to grenades, but we're going to be talking about grenades in the April preview anyway. So we'll touch on that when we get later.
They did get hit, but was it enough?
I'd argue no.
Yeah, find out next time.
Which is why that they're in the April discussion. So
exactly.
Clearly they agree.
I did recently visit GAMA, which is of course the Game Manufacturers Association of America.
I was going to ask, but you
forget what the A is.
Okay, all right.
So it's kind of like it's an organization that many game creators, publishers, distributors, manufacturers are all part of, basically. So you join that, you pay your dues, and you kind of become part of this, and we can kind of use each other as resources.
An elite secret society.
Super secret that you can join at gamma.something. And so every year we have the Gamma Expo, which is a trade show for kind of businesses and people in the industry. So I went because we obviously have our own products and services and things like that. But I got to catch up with the Factory Fortress team, which was a great time. It's always good kind of talking to them. I did get to see in person the new plastic kits coming for a new Antioch, and
Man, yeah.
they're beautiful.
The pictures look great, and if they hold up to those first couple kits, like, if they can stay on that quality, I say it all the time, like, they're going to be just fine.
It's so good.
There are people that I know that don't even play Trench Crusade are just picking up the kits because they're just good.
They're just amazing kits. Yeah. And I feel like I haven't done like a part kit or a head count, but like I saw the priest, which I have, by the way. And there's tons of head options. Which they
include a lot of extra sprues. Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, great for kit bashing and again trading with your friends too. Like once we see multiple kits coming out, like especially like when you start seeing like bits crossing the faction lines, like it's gonna be great.
Yes.
Like,
I'm really excited. And they can also just obviously make everything much more modular, right? So we saw the priest with different weapon options. The STLs are great, but it's a lot of cutting and hacking and sawing to swap weapons out. So that was really cool, and it was just kind of nice seeing that in person. So looking forward to it. I believe they'll have some at Adepticon, but we'll see.
Crossed.
Speaking of Adepticon,
we'll
be there.
We will be there. I haven't been to a convention since like Lock and Load in 2018.
Oh my gosh, so, that's Lock and Load.
It's been a while. I'm not the best around crowd, so be gentle, but I will be there and excited to meet you guys. Definitely come say hi.
Yeah, definitely do. Gently.
You
picked a heck of a con to jump in on.
Oh boy.
Adepticon is
very big?
Nuts. It's very, very big. But it's very friendly. Everyone is there to hang out, have a good time.
Oh yeah.
Do lots of shopping. It's a great shopping convention, frankly. So it's good for that. It's good for painting. I've done less playing of it. I think the 40K side of it is not the best. I think it's better for playing more indie games, things like that. So if we can still call Trench Crusade an indie game.
I was going to say, that was like next topic, next podcast. Is Trench Crusade indie?
I don't know. Yeah, That's a good question, actually.
I don't know.
So there's actually some really cool stuff happening with Trench Crusade there. This is going to be organized through Factory Fortress in a couple ways. One, they have their awesome narrative event, which
so cool.
We are kind of tying into at the end of Heretic Coast.
Fortunate that there was a lot of overlap in kind of the themes we were working on, and it just synced up so well. So
synced up?
Synced up. Intended?
Sunk
down? Up? I don't know. That was not intended, but a lot of nautical themed jokes here.
Great minds think alike. And so we were able to work with Factory Fortress and kind of connect our narratives and really tell a really cool story where we kind of pass the torch to those players that are going to be playing at Adepticon in the campaign. So definitely we're going to be there. We're not playing because we have a lot of responsibilities, but we're going to be following it. We're going to be doing some coverage. So keep your eyes and ears peeled here for updates there. And then also separately, Factory Fortress is having a Goonhammer do the very first, well, not very first, there's definitely been other ones, having them do a GT. So it's going to be a more competitive Trench Crusade.
Ooh, interesting.
It's going to be very, very interesting.
I would love to see what the list look like.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Because it's a lot of my thing is like, don't take this, but I will see how hard people lean into some of these things that I think are the worst offenders in the game.
I think they're going to
I'm kind of excited now.
Right? Totally different way to play. This is not how we play.
No.
But I'm curious to see. And I think, I have some reservations about the balance of the game and the spirit of the game, but I think if done right, I think it could be cool and it could be fun.
It could be a different kind of fun, honestly.
Yes.
Like, it's the same kind of thing of like, sometimes we play D&D campaigns to just like break the system as hard as we can, and honestly, it's a different kind of fun.
Well, here's the thing. Misunderstandings with games, being upset in games, most of the time comes down to people just not showing up with the same idea of how to play the game.
Yeah, it's a mismatch of expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
And so if there is an outlet for people who want to play super hardcore rules, just beat the crap out of each other, and those people can go play each other, and like the narrative storytellers can go play each other, that's great.
It's going to be great.
If there's no outlet for either of those players, that's when this becomes like, I don't have a way to play a narrative, and so I try to play like the GT or vice versa, right?
I just had like a nightmare scenario where like they got the event slips mixed up somehow, and like some dude with like his Locust Spitter Lord of Tumors like showed up to some guy with just like a super casual list. Like,
it's so funny. I love it.
This guy's trying to tell a story and it's just getting tabletop.
No.
But no, I think it's great that we have 2 events for the people that want to play the different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no right way to play Trench Crusade as long as you're having fun.
That is the beauty of it. So we'll be checking both of those out. We'll do some reporting on it, and be sure to follow us up there. And we'll just be floating around as Brian said. We will have a booth, Tabletop Titans booth. We'll have our upcoming game Wildwood there, and we're going to be actually pretty close to Factory Fortress and Creature Caster. So we'll be kind of in the vicinity, just booth wise.
Yeah.
Come on by, say hi.
Please do.
Now, finally, a couple things before we dive on into the main topic. For one, we did finish, of course, Season 2 of our campaigns, and we have to do the Scrolls of the Epic Deeds.
Yes, epic or exalted deeds and dark miracles. These are the things that are like the coolest moments or like the most epic fails, basically your most memorable parts of the campaign. And normally I like to write these out, but I think it'd be cool now that we got the Discord going up is to put it up to you guys. So we'll put up a poll or something. I'm not sure how the mods are going to do it, but basically vote on your favorite moments from the campaign. And we'll say the top 4 that get the most votes, I will make into scrolls to forever immortalize on the Bury a Crusade shrine.
That's amazing. I love it. So join us in the Discord, link in the description to be part of that and vote on that. Finally, of course, in the similar spirit of community, we have our recent hobby challenge, our first hobby challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Submissions did finish at the end of February, and we're doing some reviews. We'll do a little video about the winners and talk about that, but that deserves its own video.
You're all winners.
I was overwhelmed, honestly. Like, so many cool submissions. So thank you, each and every one of you who submitted. It's just awesome to see such creativity in the field.
Yeah, I was really blown away. Really nailed the theme, too. Like, I can't wait to do, we're going to do a whole episode on that or something, but yeah, it's going to be great.
Cool. Well, with that, let's dive on into the rules review. So again, this is April rules review. They've been doing sort of a preview of it during March, being like, here's the topics we want to go over. Here's some of the things that we're thinking about. And then basically the idea is they propose these changes. We as a community can go ahead and try them out, try different versions, give our thoughts, give them the feedback, and then make a call from there.
That's a great way to do it. And it's also worth mentioning, none of this is set in stone. This is all kind of them communicating with us as kind of like where they're at in the development process. And it is open feedback. So if you are strongly opinionated about any of these things, we'll be talking about the Amalgam, so I'm already typing up my my manifesto. Yeah, like it's definitely do some playtesting if you want. Like if you have some groups and stuff, like give it a shot and then submit your feedback. Let them know how it went.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's gonna be, it's very cool. That is very, very rare in the community to see that.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a step in the right direction. They did that a bit in the End of War Machine. I think they did it a little bit too much, where it's like every game you played became like a playtesting game. So I'm hoping that they don't do that. But I do like the idea that they're keeping it open-ended. So,
yeah, totally. I think it'll be pretty quick because, you know, we're already, April is upon us. They'll get it in, get it done, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So they break it down into really 5 major categories that they want to kind of look at in the April Rules Review. They want to talk about grenades. They want to talk about amalgams. They want to talk about the Iron Sultanate, the whole thing. They want to talk about mercenaries and, of course, infiltrators.
Infiltrators.
Ooh, so definitely some hot topics. Fascinating. I have opinions. I'm very excited to talk about this. So
we are very opinionated here.
We have nothing if not opinions. So we're gonna go ahead and dive on into the first topic, grenades.
Yes. Now I did mention on kind of the intro is that something that they did add in 1.2 is when you throw a grenade at someone, it will hit friendly models of yours that are within an inch of the target. So you can still like snipe people in melee, but at the detriment of your own guys. Like it's gonna like, the grenades are gonna jump essentially to your own guys. So you're not able to like just scalpel people out with no skin in the game.
Right, exactly.
So that's a good change.
It is a great change because that was our biggest concern, was this kind of gamey move where they just felt, it didn't feel lore accurate. And again, no shade to people who are doing it, because it was literally just the rules. But it was just like, ooh, it's kind of a weird incentive that doesn't match the story.
It's a little gamey.
Yeah, exactly.
You can still target points, which I do think is a little gamey as well, because it really does extend the AoE of a grenade when you can put a point. Like when you have to center it on someone, spacing becomes a little bit less important because it's very easy to kind of measure out the blast from the center of your base, right?
Where spacing's less important?
Well, spacing becomes more important now that you can target points. Especially because, like, if like a big model, for example, like a 50 mil, you send a grenade on it, like the blast often is not going to like get too far off the base. Whereas now you can clip those big models and other guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. I guess in a lot of games, it feels like it's so hard to spread out. It's like impossible.
Yeah, and that's why some systems have just done away with templates for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, I can see both ways. I kind of prefer templates, but. Anyways, so that's one of the things that has changed, is just like how there's risk to your own models. But Adrian, you reviewed the grenade rules. What are they proposing here?
Totally, yeah. So after all that, they're still probably too strong. People are still spamming them.
Yeah.
You know, again, speaking of GT stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they thought, they have an article where they really walk through everything, but they talked about a few potential solutions. One is just increase the points cost, even doubling the points. And like, cool, it could help, it could work, but it's not particularly exciting. And you're kind of just punishing people rather than balancing the actual mechanic itself.
Yeah, I don't think that really addresses the root cause, and I hope they go with some of the other changes.
Yeah, they basically immediately scrapped that. They're like, we thought about that, it's not really worth it. So there's a few potential changes. The first one is they remove the ignore long range keyword. Yeah. So grenades are super, super short range, right? So they're traditionally 8 inches. And so if you remove that ability, if you're throwing a grenade over 4 inches, then you're going to get that additional -1 to hit penalty. So
that becomes huge, like that, because a lot of models that are just at +0, like just looking for a hard 7 is totally fine, and it's like super cost efficient on like your basic yeoman, things like that. Like they become really deadly. So even just taking that down to like a -1 dice at long range is a huge swing.
And it makes it harder to do the sniping you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like you really have to be much closer to where you're aiming for.
Yeah, and they don't even scatter also. So like if you miss the point you're aiming for, if it's at long range, you're -1 dice, like it's just gone.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that would be exactly. If it's scattered, then it wouldn't matter so much.
Yeah.
So that's a proposal. Another proposal is just add the risky keyword, which is definitely flavorful. I think it makes grenades a lot worse because
they're assault also. So like if you fail a risky shot before you charge in, which I guess is like kind of because like the guy throws the grenade, he's like, oh, I don't know where that grenade went, so I don't really want to follow up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So I can see that in my mind immediately, but yeah, that also becomes you got to be a lot more careful with your shots.
I'm like, is that almost too much? Does that just become too much of a detriment?
I think I would rather have risky than the long range penalty. I don't know, man. That's tough.
Well, let me give you another one, which I probably wouldn't argue for, but they're saying add -1 injury dice keyword. So basically, like gas grenades already have this.
Yeah.
I don't love this.
No, I honestly don't see grenades as ways of like killing people. Like gas grenades, sure. If you have blood markers already on them, like gas grenades can absolutely be lethal. Especially if you're following them up with gas grenades. Like gas grenade once, give them a 2. Gas grenade the other one. So then on your second grenade, you're going to a positive dice, and then you're statistically taking someone out pretty reliably there. But I always view grenades as ways of just like setting up easy blood markers, whether it be through the shrapnel keyword or the gas keyword. Like I think they're just very efficient at doing that. And then sometimes you just kill people and it's all like gravy train.
Exactly.
But I honestly, I don't think that would impact the way I see grenades being played too much.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, more often than not, they're still going to be applying blood markers.
Yes. Yeah, you're getting something there.
Yeah, because like shrapnel, even if injury doesn't go through the armor, you still apply the shrapnel. Yeah, same thing with gas.
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite, it's not hitting the right part, whereas hitting the accuracy, or again, this risky is very interesting. It's very trench crusade. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of okay with grenades being powerful, but they should be some sort of risk involved.
They seem really dangerous.
They're really dangerous.
Someone hasn't thrown a grenade in real life. I threw darts once and I almost like took my hand out.
Immediately.
I was like trying to be cool to like flip a dart and like.
The moment it leaves your hand, you're like, what have I done?
Just instant regret.
Now to that point, it's funny you should mention that. They have a rule which it seems like they definitely want to include regardless of what other things they do. Okay. Which is the fumble rule.
Yes, before you tell me the rules, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It's so perfect. It's kind of hard to trigger, but if you get, if you roll a 2, so basically double 1s on the base roll.
It explodes?
It explodes on you.
Yes. Yes.
It's great.
100% yes.
100%.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, it's very rare, so it's like this rule by itself is obviously not enough, but it's just fun, it's flavorful, it's cool, it's Trench Crusade.
It is. I feel like it would be forgotten more often than not, but I would be the one enforcing that rule with an iron fist. Well, it's like, I would just show up at tables, like summoned when a 2 is rolling.
Did somebody say, fumble?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, this one sounds like more of a certainty than a suggestion. They just kind of talk about it afterwards. They're like, oh yeah, this rule, we think it's really cool. Then it's probably gonna be
That's going in my list of things that they should keep, 100%. Because I immediately, like a story of like a praetor just like, oops, and just like kills himself. Oh God.
So that's what they're proposing for grenades. I think a lot of good solutions. I totally agree. I'm more interested in either I don't know if I would do both, but risky or...
Probably not both, yeah.
Not ignore long range.
Risky or some kind of penalty to the range, for sure.
The risky is like such a big deal. Like, and it does an interesting thing where it de-incentivizes those little trash units from using grenades on top of getting something else. It kind of reduces their ability to be value engines, right? Because you're going to have less dice. You're more likely to actually just fail. Whereas, again, if you have a Praetor throwing a grenade, you're probably, the risky's not going to change anything.
No, because they're at such a high dice pool.
But if you have like a human,
now... I mean, it could also go the other way too, is like, since they're trash units, you're okay with them just walking up, getting an objective and throwing a grenade, and if they fail, whatever, it's a trash unit, right?
It's true. At least they're just not doing something else after that.
True.
They're not like then charging it. I know they're not like the killiest thing in the world.
It cuts down on their options.
You're just getting so much utility out of them.
Scenario play as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. If you had to pick one, do you know what you would do? We're on the spot here.
God. I think I would start with risky and then move to the other one if it was too bad. I think, especially with like the short range of grenades, they're just going to miss all the time. With -1. Most of the models that are throwing grenades, and maybe that's just the way is that it plays out, is that only elites and people with like positive modifiers to ranged attacks, maybe those are the only guys that are good with grenades, and that's kind of okay. I've talked myself out of it. I think the long range penalty.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
Because that makes sense. It's like those are kind of inherently like dangerous weapons, and maybe the people that have more training in those things, maybe those are the guys that just get trusted with grenades.
Fascinating. Okay, cool. Well, let us know what you all think in the comments down below. What do you want to change about the grenades?
I'm sure this clip will age well.
I know, I got him to commit to once, and now we got him. Fantastic. Well, so that's grenades first. The next one, I don't know how you manage this.
I don't know, dude. I'm just leaning into it now.
But of the 5 things that that Factory Fortress decided they want to focus on, one of them is so specific to Brian. It's kind of shocking.
The Amalgam.
And I apologize to the world for the harm we've done from our first episode. But yes, it's the Amalgam.
It's the Amalgam, yeah.
First of all, who is the Amalgam? What's wrong with him? And what are they proposing?
So the Amalgam is this large creature that you might not have ever seen in your games against the Black Grail. It's super cool, but basically, it's just this weird amalgamation of a bunch of corpses that it's absorbed. And the idea is that it has a bunch of arms that you can equip a bunch of different weapons with it. The problem being is that it's always been +0 dice. Very expensive before you even start adding on equipment for those 6 arms. And it's just never really made its points back.
Right.
So this is a piece that I think they've really struggled with for a while now. They did add some changes to it in the 1.2. They gave it an extra strong arm, set of strong arms.
Oh, weird. They tried to start strong arm it, huh?
Yes, they did. But I won't go too much into that because we have the Aprils and I'm a little bit more optimistic. So basically, in a nutshell, they've taken away his 6 arms. You're not paying for equipment for them anymore.
Whoa.
Instead, they have basically this gear that is... their attack profile is like automatic 3, so they can make 3 range shots with the assault keyword. Okay. And then they have cleave 3, which is the new rule for someone that can make multiple melee attacks with the unit.
Makes sense, yeah.
So basically, they can make 3 shots, charge in, and then make 3 melee attacks.
Sick.
They still have the trample attack, so they can do like a stomp on knockdown guys that'll ignore armor. So that's probably your best way of killing something.
That's cool.
And then the biggest thing is that they gave them +1 dice for melee attacks.
Yay!
So they can still probably connect with some attacks now.
Finally.
If you're fighting over defended obstacle, or if someone has like a halberd or like parry, like it's still going to be a pretty risky situation.
Not literally risky, but...
Yes, not literally risky. I got to be careful with my words.
And then do you just have to buy the war gear once then? Because it's just cleave on that one weapon?
No, so actually that weapon profile is baked into the cost of 150 ducats. However, you do still have some options to spend on the Amalgam, and that is with 3 different strains. So let me...
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they have 3 different abilities that you can purchase for them. They're called the Vile Corpus abilities, I think. The first one is called Bombardment Horde. It's 20 ducats, and this is if you want to lean into the shooting aspect of it. So you switch from +1 melee to +1 ranged, and then you add 4 inches to the range of your shooting attacks, which I think they start at 16.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you go up to 20, and then they lose the assault keyword on the guns, though. So I don't know if that one's worth it. I think that one might need a little tuning, because you're essentially giving up 3 attacks at that point. Because you can't shoot 3 times and then charge in.
Correct.
And also, I think melee is more reliable because you're not taking the long range and cover penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea that they're giving you an option there. I think that one just needs a little bit more tweaking.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not
honestly,
quite there yet.
Just to keep the assault, if anything.
Yeah.
Because you're already trading your pluses from one profile to
Exactly,
the other,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that'd be crazy.
The next one, which I think is probably the coolest and the one that I would take in the current writing, is called Trench Blight. I think it's also the most expensive one. It's 30 ducats, but basically when the amalgam dies, you don't take it off the table and it becomes this impassable piece of terrain.
Yes.
And then 2 inches around it, if you're not Black Grail, it becomes difficult and dangerous.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which is gross, is called Unbirth.
Ooh.
So you can give up your tough, essentially.
Yeah.
And make an action roll with +1 dice, and if you succeed, you can spawn a thrall.
Whoa.
Which is kind of cool, but you're giving up your tough. They did add an ability to make the amalgam a little bit more resilient as well, called Absorb.
Yeah.
So when a model, enemy or friendly, within a certain range of them, I think it's about an inch or two, within an inch of the amalgam, dies, the amalgam recovers the blood marker. It removes the blood marker.
That's cool.
If the model was 40 millimeter bases or more, it like absorbs it and it regains its tough ability if it had lost it.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know how often that's gonna come up.
Yeah.
But in theory, if you take Unbirth, you could like spawn someone, go eat someone, spawn someone. Right. You could become a little like that's super ambitious.
Can you regain your tough if you give it up, or do you just not have the tough keyword in that one?
You basically regain your use of tough. Yeah.
Even if you've given up for the Unbirth.
Even if you've given it up for the Unbirth.
That's cool.
So that is, in theory, you could become a thrall factory, but I don't know how often that's going to come up.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work.
Other than that, the amalgam is still got kind of the unstoppable rule. I think it's still going to struggle with armor. Good thing to know is that the guns and the melee attacks of it now cause infection markers, so that lets you play that economy as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a lot of infection.
It is,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So even if you're able to just like tap multiple people, that'd be great. Especially if the ranged version gets a little bit of buff, like you could really just use that to start spreading out infection, which would be great. Exactly. Another thing on the Grail that they tease, which I'm excited for, is that they're potentially buffing thralls.
Oh, yes.
So now that they have a way to take, they don't have a way to take equipment, but now they have different strains that they can take.
Nice.
They all have different ducat values. There is the Belogius Gut. So thralls can choose to detonate and do like a little blast, an automatic hit to models within 3. What's cool about this is you can also interrupt people's activations if they end a move within 3. You can just detonate your guy.
Sick.
So you can do some really like interesting screening positions to like catch people out of guard.
Yeah.
There is the Hellfly host. So now there's not going to be any of the fly thralls.
Okay.
If you want a thrall that can fly, you just take the Hellfly host.
Oh, interesting.
And that costs 0 ducats. You give up Undead Fortitude, you gain the fly and movement 6. It's exactly the same thing.
Makes sense. Okay, cool.
The fourth one, which I'm a big fan of, is called a Leech Grasp for 7 ducats. So if anyone retreats from you, they get a blood marker no matter what. You still got to make an attack, and if you hit, you can maybe give them another blood marker.
Yeah.
But also they go from -1 melee to +0 melee. So that's like a nightmare for Antioch that wants to shoot guns.
Do they have a cost on that one?
7.
7's a lot.
7? I think it's okay. Like that's
it makes it into a real model.
It makes it into a real model. It's like a +0 melee with still the overwhelming horde. So you're still getting dice bonuses and like a really sticky model.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and the last one is the tapeworm throng, and this one's 10 ducats, so this is getting pricey. But if you're shooting a thrall with the tapeworms at short range, I shouldn't have done that while you're drinking. You get -1 dice to hit them because they're like too close, and you're like you just don't want to look at them.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That's sick.
And then a great thing is once you hit 1,000 ducats above, you can now put 2 upgrades, 2 strains on your warbands, on your thralls.
That's so cool.
So you can have like flying leech guys, which I think I would do. Yeah, like there's different versions. And then lastly, they added a glory item that the Ward of Tumors can take, which buffs all of these strains. Oh, no. So at the start of the game, you can pick a strain and then it gets an enhanced version. So for example, the Fly Thralls no longer give up their Undead Fortitude. The Blasty guys, they don't do it at -1 dice. The Leech Thralls, if you leave them, you get like D3 blood markers. So like you're really unincentivized. And then the last one, the Tapeworm guys, you're just always -1 dice to hit them for shooting them.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a 9 glory item for the Lord of Tumors.
9. Okay.
But it's cool because it gives you a way to really like lean into your thralls.
Yep, exactly. That's really fun. Those are like really interesting changes that are going to unlock also some cool list building.
They are. I would be excited to play Grail.
Wow.
These are all just for vanilla Grail, most of these updates, except for the fly ones. You can still take those in Dirge and Great Hunger.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's kind of exciting. I think you're going to have still an issue with spending your ducats, even though you're shifting a lot into what you can spend in your troops. You're taking a lot out of what you can sink into the Amalgam, which is normally where all your ducats went as a Grail player. They literally called it a ducat dump in the in the article. I'm like, that's pretty good. Ducat dump.
Ducat dump.
Yeah. But anyways, exciting things for Grail. I think a couple changes to some of the abilities for the Amalgam, hopefully. But other than that, like, these are all pretty exciting. Oh, and I forgot the biggest one. You can potentially take you can take 2 Amalgams now, not 6. 2 Amalgams. 2 Amalgams. Yeah, so after 1,000 ducats, you can sacrifice 6 thralls in the one of the discovery phases, and then like you make a second Amalgam.
That's so cool.
So you can have 2. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is rad.
So one Amalgam not good enough. How about 2 Amalgams?
How about 2?
That's amazing. Amalgams versus St. Methodius? No.
No, I'd still bet on Methodius.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. And the big thing is, like, this is something that you've been talking about for a while. You've known it's a problem for a while, and they're addressing it, which is exciting.
I'm glad we're definitely on the same page. I feel vindicated.
Honestly, look, I thought you were crazy. That guy seemed amazing, but
they were all like making jokes and like, this guy's OP. Because Brian is just like, he couldn't fail a 7 on the first game of play, and I'm like, it doesn't always work this way, Brian.
They're like, this guy's amazing. Cool. Well, exciting times with Black Grail. Of course, let us know in the comments down below which one you would do and what do you think about them.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the Grail. Let's talk about the Sultanate.
The Sultanate, yeah.
So the Sultanate, and then again, they encapsulate it pretty well in the article here where they talk about how Sultanate is very much the honest faction. They are just straight down the line. We, of course, had them in our last season with Shane. And so they just don't have a ton of tricks compared to some of the other factions, and they definitely suffer from lack of armor piercing, which is something that Factory Fortress has said for months. I think we even quoted them on one of our episodes.
Yep.
So those are a couple things that have been kind of in need of some love, right? Yep. So they've done a few changes, again, pretty aggressive, just like with Grail, and really comes into a few different categories. So first of all, they're going to get additional and expanded armory, which is cool. So we're going to get access to some new tools. We've got some cool glory items, things like that.
Nice.
And then they also have what they call kind of new entry sheets for the Brazen Bull and the Captain, who's now just called the Yuzbasi. It's not Yuzbasi Captain.
That's fair, yeah.
And then some proposed minor changes on some other units. So let's break it down, starting off first with the new war gear. Alchemical ammunition is a good ability.
Already pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah.
The problem is it doesn't help them where they needed help, right? A +1 dice to hit is cool, it's nice, but really what they needed is things like armor piercing. So instead, now what you have is you have new types of alchemical ammunition that will give you different bonuses.
Oh, okay.
So you can have things that will deal with different targets. So for example, they have the what is it?
Negate?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Alchemical fire.
Okay.
So this gives you the ability to negate fire.
Ignore, negate, fire.
So you want this if you have a fire weapon.
So negative and a negative make a positive.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm a little nervous when we see rules that ignore rules, but you know, it is a thing. It's a little bit weird because fire is such a feast or famine mechanic already, right?
It is.
Grail hates it. It's devastating against some factions. They don't really care that much. And so they just make sure that it's going to be basically good against anybody, even people who are ignoring it. So that's cute.
Yeah. That's interesting. I guess it's fine because it helps them hunt their targets, which it seems like is kind of on brand for the alchemists. Like they're doing their science thing to literally go after their targets.
Exactly.
And now this gives them something to deal with, like demons?
Yeah, exactly. That's really what it is. The one that I think is more interesting, though, is the corrosive ammunition. So both of these cost 10 ducats, so they're not cheap, keep in mind. But this one gives you armor piercing, which is super exciting.
Yeah, and that's like ignore 1 point of armor, essentially, right?
Yeah, it's not full armor piercing, just ignore 1 point.
That's really good.
It's a big deal.
Because you can put that still on siege sales, right?
I think so,
So that's a +1 dice to injure, ignoring a point of armor. Yeah.
In fact, this one actually is only limited to those types of guns. So it can only be used with the Alai Bazan, halberd guns, Jezzail, or siege Jezzails.
So not the basic Jezzail.
Not your basics.
That makes sense. That's fine. Yeah.
They don't want you to be running around with all of it, I guess. It means that your guns that are supposed to kill armor things are going to be able to actually kill armor things.
That's fine. And honestly, I probably, because that gets a little expensive, I don't know if I put that on an AZEB.
Yeah, 10 is actually a lot for that.
So question, I guess, with these ones coming in, what about the original alchemical ammunition? What do you think? Is it staying?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is going to stay. They just say new types of alchemical ammunition, so I believe you'll be able to still buy that one for the +1.
Yeah, I think that's still a good job for your AZEBs, which is Jezzails, to get them. Yeah, because that made them really appealing, I felt.
Yes, exactly. Well, especially if grenades don't go long range anymore.
Yeah, and like Jezzails become more appealing.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's really cool. It's going to be a nice little tech into certain things. The halberd gun got a big glow up. This thing is really flexible now. It's just going to be a flat +1 dice to injure, shooting and fighting.
From what it looks like, on shooting and fighting, and it's like still assault, still giving the -1 to be able to charge in. Like
exactly.
Shane made really good work of that before it got a buff, but now it's like a siege Jezzail on a halberd, which is
great. Now it does have cumbersome and heavy, but on the type of person you're going to take with this, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have strong keyword. They're going to have what you need to kind of work around that.
No shield combo, so I think you still need to have your 2 arms.
It does have shield combo.
It does have shield combo?
Yes.
So that's new.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good.
And they kept block, of course, right? So you're still going to be that harder to hit. You're going to be tougher. It's very cool. Yes.
Wow, captains are amazing now. Or whatever their captains are called now. Uzbasis are amazing now.
Which is great, because then again, they were decent as far as, you know, Sultanate units go, but they were just a little bit underwhelming.
They were in a weird spot where they were like outshined by the Janissaries, funny enough, because they didn't even have the strong keyword for the longest time. But now I am excited to run that model.
Exactly.
That's great.
Which is what it should be. It's exactly what it should be. So speaking of another iconic model that you want to be excited to take, this is the Brazen Bolt. We're going to talk about the Brazen Bolt changes specifically, but right now we're talking about War Gear, the Flame Cannon. We have seen this time and time again in our last season where Shane's like, I can have a good gun or I can be good at fighting in melee. If I invest in both, I'm not doing both because I don't have assault on any of my guns. I can shoot or I can fight. Well, look no further. The Flame Cannon specifically, so not the Bombard, but the Flame Cannon does now have assault. And you've got just this melt-a-beam of ignore armor. This is just zerping through people, charging in, on top of some of the upgrades we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah, they are still a little fragile, quote unquote, for like a model that size. They do still have the -1 dice to injure for like being a science creature, and I think they start with a point of armor. So still a little delicate, but like the killing potential now is amazing. Like setting up that like laser beam and then being able to charge in afterwards is huge. Like Shane got a really good shot in the final mission, and to think that he could have followed up after that and done even more damage would be absolutely terrifying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just think it's such an iconic model that needs some love. They kind of talk about that in the article as well, trying to bring it up to snuff with the other kind of big bad iconic monsters.
I can't help but think about
like the Amalgam.
I'm like, wait a minute, you can shoot and charge in with a flame cannon?
It's a single shot. It's different.
Hit multiple things and it auto hits.
That is true.
It doesn't need +1 dice to hit. It just auto hits. Damn it, Adrian. They just moved the goalposts again.
They did, yeah.
All right. I'm going to write up that email. We'll get in contact.
Yeah, exactly. So I do want to talk about this last one because I think it's so important. Generally speaking, I think people who watch our channel and our content, they get it. They really grok it. They feel like they understand. Like, we are playing to tell stories and have a good time.
Okay.
We do mix in and fold in a good amount of humor into it.
Yes.
I think the Crustaceans was the most controversial episode.
Was it?
Yeah. But you know, we've kind of said from the beginning that this humor is in the game from the bottom up. It might be very kind of straight-faced, tongue-in-cheek, but it's in there.
I'm excited to what you're leading into.
A brand new glory item is the regimental spoon.
What?
It's amazing.
Okay.
The Brotherhood of the Spoon. It's hilarious. For glory. And basically what this lets you do is you don't count your Janissaries that are down for the purposes of morale.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sure.
It's also a musician. So you have the regimental spoon, and it's so funny because it touches on two things. One, the humor of Tread Crusade, and two, the historical accuracy.
I was going to ask, I'm like, I hope I'm not laughing about something that's like super sensitive.
It's definitely a thing.
Okay.
I don't know about sensitive, but like, this is actually, and they talk about this in the article, like, regimental spoon sounds like a joke. There's a historical precedence for this in history, basically. So it sounds so absurd, but this is a thing that is real and has existed. So it's okay, you can laugh. But
okay, cool.
It's just funny because it's like this just encapsulates two of the things that people don't always understand about Trench Crusade is the humor and the importance of history to it.
Doing a little spoon moves.
It's great. That's awesome. So funny.
Does it do anything else other than?
Nope, that's it.
That's it? So just knock down guys don't count?
Yep. It counts as a musical instrument for their Meteran ability, which is a kind of super dash that some of your Janissaries can have.
Okay.
We'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah. But it's not actually an instrument itself.
It's not technically an instrument itself.
But it doesn't take up a slot either, right?
I guess not.
It doesn't take up a hand.
It's an equipment, but it doesn't have any slot.
Interesting.
So, anyways, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, hilarious, fun.
I love it.
Funny.
You get a model of spoon on your guy.
Yes! Oh, it's great. You can have a spoon and a Glockenspiel now. Come on. Different armies, I know. But so for these last few captains, it's pretty subtle. He's going to have that strong kind of baked in, so that's nice. And he can, of course, get this Meteran ability, which we just talked about. So this is also available to your Janissaries. You can kind of specialize them, essentially.
Yeah.
So what this does is it's a +1. It grants a +1 to dash while you're within range of a musical instrument. So it's double dash, basically.
That's cool. It really kind of helps identify the identity of Sultanate, maybe being the faster skirmishy types. Like they're very
consistent.
fast. Yeah, that's
Extremely.
great. That's great.
So it's cute, and there's the strength built in. You're not paying for that or not paying for that, which is fine. It's good and important, of course, because the halberd gun, heavy and cumbersome.
That guy's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's cool, and they kept their +1 to injury against tough things, which is nice.
Wow. So, yeah. That's okay.
So now +2 to injury against those things.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Then we have the Brazen Bull, who of course is that kind of a fan favorite. Everyone loves those big centerpiece models. Couple interesting things here. The main thing is living battering ram. This is basically when you charge into combat, as long as you're targeting something that is 40 millimeter. Sorry, you can target anyone.
Yes.
It's an action test. If you're targeting someone with a 40 mil or larger, it's at a -1.
Okay.
But on an excess, you immediately knock them down.
That's great, because that sets up the trample.
Exactly.
So you can knock them down, do your attacks, and if you don't kill them somehow from that, then you get a step on them. That's
exactly.
super good.
Yeah, that stomp is just that add another action check, ignore armor.
Yeah.
They're already down, so you don't have to worry about it. Because again, the Brazen Bull does not have many attacks.
No.
If you are doing a duel, you only have one attack. So wasting an attack to try to knock someone down was kind of annoying.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think that leans into the Flame Cannon Titan Zulfir build, because that way you got a good shot at getting 2 attacks in melee.
Exactly.
If you knock someone down. Yeah. That's great. No, I love it. Good change.
Very, very exciting. Also has negate shrapnel now, which is going to help a lot with durability.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe a lot is a strong word, but it's going to help because, as you mentioned, he is a little bit fragile, for sure.
Yeah.
Finally, the Janissaries and the Lions. Janissaries can get this Meteran ability for 5 points, which is cute.
Yep.
And then the Lions can now, for 5 points, get Cleave 2.
Wow.
So that's a big upgrade. I don't see myself ever not taking that.
Yeah, it was the same kind of thing, but now they just have Fear innately, and you used to be able to pay for Fear.
Yeah. No, I think you still pay for it.
Oh, for Fear? Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is just an addition. Again, the other ones were like a full rewrite of the sheets. This is just an addition to the...
I mean, I'd pay for both. I'd pay 10 points for Fear and an extra attack. Like, that's a good 10 ducats spent.
I like them already as tar pits, and now they're actually going to kill things. So
yeah, that's good.
Pretty cool changes. So yeah, that is the Sultanate. Very excited for them. I know they're going to be hotly contested for future seasons here.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about the changes and what ones you would stick with.
All right, Adrian, hopping over to Mercenaries real quick. There have been a couple changes. First off, the Observer has been changed from 3 glory to 5.
Whoa.
Which I think is a step in the right direction. Yeah. I suspect it might be 4, but I'm not uncomfortable with 5. It's a very strong model for what it could do. I definitely wasn't playing it as hard as I could have in the campaign. Anything that can control activations is very strong, as you can see with the Hold Your Fire ability. But yeah, it's just like, it's very slippery, it's fast, it's got like a control element. It was definitely way too efficient at 3 glory. So other than that, it's staying the same, but I'm not shocked.
No, that makes sense. It was ridiculous for 3.
It's still like, if you can connect with it, it's still only 1 armor, still no tough, which is why I say maybe 5 is a little bit too much, but
yeah. And then you lose it on a 1 or 2 on the recovery roll.
Like it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah,
so,
Mercenary is tough to balance.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Next up is the Mentalist Ammo Monk. So if you're watching the season 2, that would be Scarborough the Supplicant.
Yes.
So the guy buffing up my Sniper Priest. Some changes to the ammo types that he can give out. Still functions essentially the same, where he like buffs up your ranged units.
Yeah.
The first one, where normally it would give you an accuracy buff of +1 dice to hit, it now instead gives the model ignore long range, ignore cover, which I think is better.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it can effectively come up to like +2 dice essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you put that on a good shooter, it's going to be good.
Oh, amazing.
The other one that I used a lot, the cartridge of our Lord's Wrath, which gives 2-inch blast and shrapnel. They just clarified it so that you can't put it on things with like flamethrowers or like rapid fire, which is good. Like machine gunning blast is never healthy for Trench Crusade.
Flamers and shrapnel is hilarious.
And then the last one I think was kind of curious. They changed it from +1 to injure flat to +1 dice to injure, which is definitely a step down.
Yeah, for sure.
And I did not use that one too often.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if that's the one that most people were using. I personally felt the cartridge was like hands down the best one.
Yeah.
But maybe they thought that one was the problem child and they changed it because of it.
Could be.
Yeah. That's it for the Mentalist Ammo Monk. Scripture Guardian had a very slight change. His book now counts as a ranged weapon and gained assault. It cuts out some of the weirdness of like things of like, you know, line of sight and everything. So I think it's probably changed for the better. Anything that makes it a little bit easier to dodge, because it is very lethal. Like I use it in one game and it's just like destroys people if it connects.
Nuts.
But
terrifying.
Yeah. Other than that, he's kind of the same.
Yeah, makes sense. 7 Glory.
7 Glory, yes, a lot. Sin Eater got some changes. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to play. So it can like devour models, and models cannot make an attempt to escape, just because it was already like -3 dice and the count is being knocked down. And like it just never happened.
Yeah,
like, it was very, so they're like, you know what, let's just take that out. Now, however, if you just knock down or take out of action the Sin Eater, the guy just pops out. So you have a better chance of like rescuing your guy.
Makes sense.
And then while someone is being digested, the Sin Eater is actually healing wounds, which is cool.
Whoa.
So it heals blood markers. Yeah.
That's sick.
I definitely still devouring wretches to like heal my Sin Eater, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
The Witch Burner, the little blast thing is now AoE with scatter, so it's a little bit less feast or famine. And then he still can't dash, but he's also not like slowed down by like difficult terrain or effects.
Oh, nice.
He is driven with purpose, and he will not be delayed.
Just consistent with his little cane.
A little sachet or something. I don't know.
Yeah. That's fair. Shane will be happy.
Yes, he will. He loved that model. The Goetic Warlock got some interesting changes. You saw in 102, he got Cleave, but also the Goetic Warlock can now cast Goetic powers.
Yes.
So his teleport ability and his gaze ability now cost blood, much as how models in the Court of the Seven do their powers. You do them by spending blood markers from mortal models, friendly or enemy.
Yep.
And basically, the teleport is still the same. It's the 6th place. It costs 2 blood, which I suspect is a little too much. Okay. For reference, the Hunter of the Left-Handed Path also costs 2 blood, and that will get you anywhere on the map. Yeah. This is just the 6th place.
Yeah, exactly.
There are other applications. Yeah, like the nice thing about the Warlock is that you can take people with you with your teleport, and you can put people into dangerous situations, which is cool, but it's only a 6-inch place.
Yeah.
Models can't heal blood markers within melee range of the Warlock anymore, which is cool.
Yes,
and
especially with wanting to keep the blood on people.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And then also their gaze, which I think is the coolest upgrade. If you hit someone with it, it doesn't do blood, it just doubles the number of blood markers.
Whoa!
Yeah, it does no damage, but it just doubles the blood.
That's awesome.
Like, that's huge. Like, it costs the blood to do it, and then the target that you hit just doubled. Like, so very efficient piece for, I think, generating blood in court. And it's also nice because if you can run this in heretics too. So you can use your Goetic powers to heal like your shock troopers and things like that because they're immortals.
That's really sick.
Right?
Oh my god.
You got a little cleric now and you're
oh my god.
So it's a very good upgrade. I'm excited to run the Warlocks. Warlocks were always kind of like middle of the road, but now I'm like excited to play them.
That's great. Yeah, that's what you want. Such amazing models.
I think, that's kind of the bigger changes of the Warlocks, just kind of running through them real quick. But overall, I'd say I'm happy with the changes,
Yeah, they seem great.
The one thing I think is just the glory cost on the Observer, considering it's only 1 armor with no tough. That's a very steep cost for 5 glory model. But I'm not surprised by it either.
Yeah, makes complete sense. Ooh, exciting time for Mercenaries. With that, we have one more topic to cover today. This is Infiltrators. So Infiltrators are a bit of a weird rule because they can be also feast or famine. There are several missions, several scenarios where you can't take Infiltrators at all because they would just be too impactful on the scenario.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they framed a lot of this, which is interesting. The other thing, I mean, for us personally, is like Infiltrators are so dictated by the board that you build because you can't be visible.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about that so much, but it's mostly like, hey, what happens if like half of the scenarios don't let you use this rule that you have?
Especially if that's like built into the cost of the model too. Like that feels bad. Like if your model, if you're paying more for a model that has the infiltrate keyword baked into it, and you're not getting anything for that, like that's always pretty feels bad.
Exactly. So they have a few different solutions. This is kind of like the grenades where they're like, we're not sure what we want to do, but there's a few things. They're talking about potentially forward positions, which basically gives you just be able to set up 6 inches outside your deployment zone. So you can be a little bit closer.
Sure.
And this would be, I guess, potentially instead of using the infiltrate ability there.
Yeah.
They also toyed with just making that a free move, but they didn't allude what this breaks about it, but they said that potentially creates more problems than it solves.
It's harder to balance because models with different move characteristics.
Like a Grigori that goes 12 is different than a Commando that goes 6.
Exactly. That's my immediate reaction to that comment.
Precisely.
But, yeah.
So that's a thing. They've even talked about this ability called blending in, where it would just give you cover when you start, which is like basically
a free shovel.
It's a free shovel. It's like 5 ducats. So I'm not like super excited about that.
That's fine. I don't think that fixes infiltrate, but I wouldn't say no to it either.
I don't think it fixes infiltrate. The other interesting one is double cover, where if you're in cover when you set up, you're going to get a double bonus, so it's -2.
Interesting.
So you're like super tough from being shot at. And that kind of, in theory, that lets you be in a forward position. It might still be in your zone, but you can be more brazen with that, whereas the other ones can't.
Yeah, I kind of like that more than the shovel one.
I like it more than the shovel.
Yeah.
The shovel feels still disappointing to me.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm paying probably more than 5 points for infiltrate.
Yeah.
Or 5 ducats, but
I like the -2 one.
Yeah, the -2 is cool. The 6 inches forward, I think, is also cool.
I think a combination of those two is probably what I would do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, any of those ideas seem pretty good.
Again, it's interesting that this was one of the 5 because it seems much more minor to me. But I would love to hear from you folks at home. Has been infiltrate a problem for you? Or are you finding there's just too many scenarios where you can't use it? And which of these changes would you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is the 5 proposed changes for the upcoming April rules review. Of course, we'll have a link down below to this. We'll probably just do the main article. They also are doing surveys where you can actually give your feedback as well.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that. You know, this is, again, a rare opportunity in games where we as a community can give our feedback to the developers.
Keep it positive.
Be kind,
yes.
Rewind, and just remember that they're going to be doing a lot of work and go through a lot. So be positive, be kind.
Yeah, just like, don't make it personal. Like, how dare you write this? Like, this is insane. Like, this is so dumb. Like, no, like, we're all figuring this out together. This is a game we love. This is like a community thing. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
We just want the game to be the best it can be. We're all on the same team here, guys.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited. There's a ton of things happening, as it's shown by this episode being just so diverse with the things going on. But again, folks, we will be at Adepticon very soon. Come on by, say hi. We'll be at Tabletop Titans booth. We'll also be with the Trench Crusade folks and things like that. We're just going to be all around. So track us down. Be kind to Brian, but say hi to him. He's going to be overwhelmed.
Be gentle.
Exactly. But this is a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, good. Good topic for sure.
And as always, folks, make sure you leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of exciting things coming up. We just finished up a season, so you know what's coming up next.
Yes.
That's going to do it for us. We'll catch you all next time in the trenches. Bye! Bye!